And we're back. Owen, I was kind of conked out, overdosed on MMA all weekend, but there were other sports going on. Let's start with basketball. What happened?
Of course. I want to first talk about the two teams that continue to be the hottest teams in the league. The Los Angeles Clippers and the Utah Jazz extend their winning streaks to seven apiece. And I'm going to talk about the Jazz because the Clippers had two pretty solid efforts against the Thunder, but I felt the Jazz game was a little bit more indicative of how hot they were. They go up against a Golden State Warriors team who had been playing better as of late, and they thrashed them. It was a 30-point game at halftime, 36-point lead at the end of the third quarter, and the Warriors were never in this game, and the Jazz just dominated on both sides of the floor. They shot 40%, 20 of 50 attempted threes
Wow.
in the game. And yeah, they were just superb. And Gobert really like dominated Wiseman. And that's what's going to happen when you got a vet who is one of the best at his position versus a rookie still learning the intricacies of the professional game. And so, yeah, just the Utah Jazz are on fire right now. So are the Clippers. And I just wanted to, again, talk about their insane shooting performances because they have been lighting it up so far.
What are you seeing on the shot calling or decision making that's letting them have that success?
Well, like a big part of it is because Mitchell and Conley are two like high level stars who are willing to give up the ball movement really works. Also, you've got Rudy Gobert, who is probably the best screen assister in the league. So just all the screens that he sets are very effective at getting guys the space they need to shoot. And so if that's in the pick and roll or if that's off of like floppy action, stuff like that, Gobert's a really solid screener, and it's going to give guys space, and then that's going to force the defense to rotate. And they've been moving the ball really well. All of these guys snap it around: Bogdanovich, O'Neal, obviously Conley and Mitchell. Jordan Clarkson has been playing really well for them. He's a little bit more of a black hole in terms of ball movement, but he's been doing the necessary things. And Joe Ingles, of course, is always going to keep the ball moving. I think the weakness of this Jazz team last year, especially, was if one of their guys got injured, they had very poor bench depth. I think they addressed that a little bit in the offseason, adding Derek Favors. George Niang takes another step forward. Just those guys are filling in nicely for them. And yeah, they've just been shooting the lights out. So that always helps.
Yeah. So do you see a new team that is going to have a better chance at the playoffs, or just a hot team at the moment that will eventually cool down?
I think the Utah Jazz are definitely deserving of their spot right now. And they're a really, really solid team. And they feel a little bit like I just don't know if they're on that next level. It's kind of the Lakers still stand above everyone else. And when it comes playoff time, Gobert is going to get put in a ton of pick and roll and isolation. And I just don't know if Conley and Mitchell are enough to get you over the top. Donovan Mitchell's going to have to really take like that step forward to become a true superstar. And almost kind of like that Dwayne Wade 2006 season. Just he has to like basically become the MVP of that team because they're a team that does it all from like a team basis. They play great team defense and they get great shooting, but they're really going to need Mitchell to be the guy who in the playoffs who's trading blow for blow with a LeBron, with a Kawhi, with a Paul George, with even a Chris Paul. And I think he can do that, but we'll see when it comes playoff times. This Utah Jazz team is probably going to be a top 4 seeded team, and they're really solid, but they have struggled in the playoffs when it comes to like generating half court offense when things slow down, and they're really going to need Mitchell in that regard.
I've seen great closing from Mitchell, like last 2, 3 minutes of a game, you need a bucket, then like put the ball in Donovan Mitchell's hands and he will slash and generate some sort of open look, whether that's his own or the ball movement you're referring to. But I don't know if it's like the third quarter slowdown where you need that to even get yourself into that fourth quarter position, eh?
Yeah, it's just when Gobert is giving them zero offense, and he'll never be that guy who's going to take over a playoff game. So despite the great defense he can play and shot block, when it comes down to the playoff, they really narrow in on those like very minute matchups, and that's bringing Gobert out of the paint and attacking him in a pick and roll, or making him, or just going 5-out shooters so that he can't patrol the paint. And I think teams are going to do that. And that's why Houston was so successful against Utah in all the previous years, because Gobert couldn't guard any of their 5 just like little wing guys who ran around and shot threes. So we'll see how the matchups go as we get to the playoffs. But yeah, Utah is playing really well right now.